It's the Ball Boys. Dave is here. I'm Eddie. We are back to talk some hoops.
I'm here. Eddie's here to talk some hoops. We're both here.
So last time we talked, Dad, was about a week and a half ago, something like that. We did a whole big thing about the Luka Doncic trade to the Lakers. Talked a little bit about the De'Aaron Fox trade to Sacramento, but we haven't discussed. I know it's the trade deadline.
From Sacramento to the Spurs.
What did I say? To Sacramento?
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Spurs. My apologies.
Yeah.
And but we haven't talked about the Brandon Ingram trade to the Raptors. I know the trade deadline it's kind of come and gone, but we got to go back and talk about this because we haven't done it. And then we're going to talk about an All-Star weekend that everybody's shitting on, and we might do the same thing. So lots to talk about today. Dad, let's start with this trade.
Yeah.
So this comes after I wouldn't say it was a shock to hear that this trade went down. There had been rumblings for weeks that the Raptors were making calls. I think it was a polarizing move for various reasons. Mm-hmm. You weren't as high on it, along with I think some other Raptors fans initially, but you've kind of come around. I think a lot of the fan base has come around. I think
No. I from the get-go, I was happy about this trade, Eddie.
I have text receipts. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying you were unhappy, but I was definitely in from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's a great trade.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have come around to that conclusion, especially after the extension that was given out, which was, I think, initially a question mark. Like, Are they going to have to pay him? Is he going to walk? Like, and
there's so many great things about this trade, and let's start with the first one, obvious one. He wants to be here. That's why he signed the extension. So, and that's a great sign. That's a great sign for the Raptors, and a great sign to promote the Raptors across the league. After that, it's great because the Raptors bought low. I mean, they got him for nothing when you think of it in the big picture. And he's exactly what they need. They need a scorer. They need a guy who can hit jump shots, and create shots on his own. And he does all those things. My only concern about the trade, Eddie, is that Brandon Ingram and RJ and Scotty all play the same position, basically. Yeah. So what do you do?
Well, okay, first of all, you said a lot of smart things there. You're totally right. They bought low for what they gave up. I mean, it's Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first next year that's not even theirs, a mid-round first.
Indiana.
Right, which will be, in the 15 to 20 range. And a second, I mean, come on, for a guy who's at his peak, like you said, an elite scorer. And we've been talking about this, like, I'm not saying that Brandon Ingram is a better player than Kawhi Leonard. Of course he is not. But I'm just saying that he is the best scorer, one-on-one scorer that they've had on the roster since Kawhi left. Like he brings to the table that kind of elite shot making, like you said, that they've been missing ever since Kawhi left. And it's a huge addition. I'm glad you brought up the fit thing with Scotty and RJ and Grady Dick. You can throw into that, because here's the thing. I've been thinking about this a lot because that was the common take, initially when they made the trade. And it just drives me crazy when teams acquire talent, bad teams acquire talent, whether it be from the draft or free agency or trade, whatever. And then some idiot writer goes, well, it's a bad fit with the roster. It's like, oh, you mean the roster that's won 30 games in the last 2 years combined? That roster?
Yeah.
It's a bad fit with that roster? Interesting. Maybe that's the point. Because like when you're bad, you shouldn't worry about fit. You should worry about acquiring better talent and then figure the fit out later. And I mean, like, look, if he doesn't fit, then it's a simple answer. You trade RJ Barrett. I mean, I'm sorry. It's a business. We are both on the record on this show. We both really like RJ Barrett and what he brings to the table. Yep. But I mean, he's not prime Dwayne Wade. Like, I'm sorry. So, I mean, if Brandon Ingram is a better player and it's a weird fit, then you trade RJ Barrett and you figure it out. Like, look, the fact is, like I said, they have not had a guy like this on the roster that can score in one-on-one situations since Kawhi Leonard. And right. And again, the fit thing, I think it's just when you're a bad team, who gives a shit about fit, right? Like, look, if let's say they get the number one pick this year, and Cooper Flag is another 6'7" forward who plays the same position as all those guys, do you think
Right.
they're going to be like, well, we have Scotty Barnes? No, you're taking Cooper
No.
Flag, right?
Right.
And you're figuring it out.
Exactly.
And if you have to trade Scotty, so be it. I
Yeah.
mean, look, I
Take the
like
best
Scotty Barnes.
player. Eddie.
Right, exactly. I
Yeah.
like Scotty Barnes, and I think he's a very good player. But let's be
He's not
realistic.
Cooper Flag. Listen,
Right.
here's the thing about the trade too that I really like is the fact that the Raptors did this trade because they saw their team, their core group, accelerating at a faster pace than they anticipated. Now, having said that, they still haven't had Quickly there enough. He hasn't really fit
Yeah,
in.
that one's a major concern because
Yeah,
he's
that's a
making
big
45.
concern.
I mean, you look at his contract, it's like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
What are they paying this guy? Like,
Yeah.
you better
So,
figure it out, man.
but that's why they did. That's why they made the trade because they can see that it maybe it takes Quickly a while to get back into into the mix, but their core group they see it as a great fit. So that's a good signal.
Look, whether or not he fits with this roster, it's almost like the same discussion we had with the Lakers with Luka when you were saying like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if it's a great fit with LeBron and they don't have a center. And while that all may be true this season, it doesn't matter because this isn't a trade that was made with this season in mind. It was a trade with the next decade
Lakers
in mind.
franchise, yeah, exactly.
Right. And it's a little, and I think the same can be said for this Ingram trade. Like this trade is not about this season. And in fact, I would be shocked if he even played. I wouldn't play him. Sit him down. What's the point? Like
the point is that you want to play him for a couple of games.
Oh, I mean, come on, Dad. We're not having this
next.
discussion. This isn't fucking AAU with 13-year-olds, all right? Like we know they traded for him for a reason. He already has the built-in excuse with this ankle injury. Just ride it to the offseason and lose as many games as possible. And then next season, because it would just be irresponsible to bring him back for 5 games at the end of the year and play us out of potentially getting the number 1 pick.
I don't think
I'm sorry.
I don't think that's going to happen. But I think maybe for a game or 2, maybe.
No, sit him. Put him on ice, man. That's the point. Did you hear what Darko even said? When he was like, yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to play this year. It's like, yeah, no shit, Darko.
Yeah.
Like, sit him.
Right.
No, I don't want to see. And, look, guys come and go. The roster dynamic will be different next year. They'll have a good pick, hopefully. And like I said, if it doesn't fit, then you trade Emmanuel Quickly. You trade RJ Barrett. Like even Scotty Barnes. And as I was saying, I mean, he's a very good player. But, look, Scotty's in, year 4 now? Mm-hmm. And they lost in the first round his first season, haven't sniffed the playoffs since, right? So, look, I'm not saying that this is Scotty's fault, and I'm also not saying that they should trade Scotty Barnes. No, I understand that, Dad. Come on, I understand that, but the great ones, I don't care, man. The great ones, like the truly great players, usually figure it out eventually, and so it's like, I mean, like I said, he doesn't. The whole he's young, he's figuring out excuse. It's not going to last much longer. So look, and again, I'm not saying that they should trade Scotty Barnes. I'm just saying that, I mean, should he be considered like an absolute Wembanyama untouchable? Like, no, I'm sorry, he shouldn't. If the right deal, right? Exactly.
They traded Luka. I mean, he's Luka's arguably the 3rd, 4th, 5th best player in the world. Yeah. And they traded him, the Mavericks. So, I mean, if he can get traded, fuck yeah.
Right. So anyway, you know what? Getting back to the Brandon Ingram thing, I think it was a prudent move, and they re-signed him to a very team-friendly deal, 3 years, 120. I mean, he's making less than Emmanuel Quickly, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It might be a little bit of both.
Right now, it's a bad thing.
Yeah, the Emmanuel Quickly thing, dude. And I was really high on him, but it has not worked out so far. And that is, I'm not ready to cut ties yet. Like I'm not selling all my Emmanuel Quickly stock yet, but I'm taking investor calls. Let's just put it that way. I'm taking calls. People are texting me going, you should get out of this now. You need to jump ship on your Emmanuel Quickly stock because it's plummeting. We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, okay, that's our Raps segment. Yeah, Brandon Ingram, super smart move in my opinion.
Great,
and
great. I love it.
I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, the All-Star game. So let's start on All-Star Saturday night. For All-Star, I mean, I do think it's kind of in season to shit on the All-Star game, and everybody's doing it. But this was a particularly bad one. And
oh man.
it came at a time when the NBA really, like, just given the whole kind of narrative and dialogue around the NBA and concern about like viewership and all these
Mhm.
things that are going on, like they really needed a kick-ass all-star weekend this year and they just
Mhm.
didn't get it.
No, no, they didn't. And it's just, no, wasn't Steph and what's her name
Sabrina.
from
Yeah, they were
what
supposed to
to have a 3-point shooting contest or something like
got
that?
called off.
Yeah, why? That now people would have tuned in for that.
Oh, come on. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like a Steph Sabrina, like Dad. Look, you're talking about a band
No,
aid
it was Tatum. Wasn't
when
it
All Star
Tatum?
Weekend. I get it, but like All Star Weekend needs surgery, and
Oh,
I mean, okay, hold on. Let's start with All Star Saturday Night, which
yeah.
got
The skills
saved in my
competition?
opinion. Skills competition was a joke. I will say this: the Wemby Chris Paul cheating thing was. I got a kick out of that. That was kind of funny. But did you see that?
No. Missed
Oh
that
my
part.
God! You didn't see they cheated. They came up with this idea that instead of taking the shots, they just picked the ball up and they just like chucked them, boom, 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 and they weren't shooting. So they beat everybody's time, and then they got disqualified because like you have to take legitimate shot attempts.
Right.
So Chris Paul tried to cheat, and then Chris Paul's like arguing with the ref for like 5 minutes about it, which is like so on brand. It was like what is happening right now? Tyler Hero wins the 3-point contest. Cool,
Yep.
good for him.
Yep.
And
Good for
then the
him.
dunk contest, which is the main ticket of the night. And all right, Steph Castle comes out and he does a pretty decent first dunk, fine. And
Yep.
then the Andrew Jackson kid comes out, doesn't even complete an attempt. And then Mataz Butel, no, I think he finally did, but he missed his first like 3 tries. He had to
Yeah.
do like go through like his whole menu
Repertoire.
of dunks, right?
Yeah.
And then Butelis, the rookie from Chicago, comes in. He didn't even finish. He didn't even dunk it.
No.
It was embarrassing, and it's like, oh my God, is this going to be the end of the dunk contest? And then
It was horrible.
Mac McClung comes out, and I will say this, puts on a spectacular performance. It really was a great dunk performance. It was one of the best. It really was. I'm sorry, the
Hey,
guy got
you know
it was
how I feel
four
about this.
unbelievable dunks.
You
Okay,
know how I
what's your
feel
take?
about this.
What's your take then?
I think Mac McClung is so gimmicky. It makes me want to puke. It makes me
Come
want to
on,
puke jumping over a car. I mean, that's been done before.
not that
Kobe did
good.
it.
No, he
Kobe did
didn't.
it.
No, he didn't. Blake Griffin did it.
Oh, Blake Griffin did it, but Kobe
And
did it
he
in a video.
No, yeah, he did it in a video, but not in a
Yeah.
dunk contest.
No,
I'm
but
sorry.
Blake Griffin
No,
did
no,
it.
no, no, no. Blake Griffin jumped over the hood of the car, and he's 6'11". Okay, this
Uh,
kid's 5'7".
I don't care.
Did you see the second dunk?
gimmicky.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The one where he caught the lob and hung and froze,
Yeah.
and then did the reverse. Like
Yeah.
that guy is a special athlete, man. And then I'm sorry, the
He's a
double dunk.
gimmicky dunker, man. That's
Who
all
cares?
he
It's
is,
the
and that's
dunk
all he'll
contest.
ever be. Well, yeah, I guess.
Dunk contest, Dad.
Yeah, it is a
Come
dunk.
on.
Listen,
Vince finished the dunk and when it's over.
for me, Eddie, Stephen Castle's dunk was way better because it's natural, it's real, it's not gimmicky, it's just a pure, beautiful dunk.
Yeah. You know what? Mac McClung's was a pure. The guy's like 5'10". Come on,
Oh,
dude. I
no,
mean,
no,
come on.
I'm a purist. I'm a purist.
You're a
I
purist?
like, yeah.
Bullshit. You're a purist.
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
you remember the Aaron Gordon one where he was dunking off of like he was jumping over like the Magic mascot and he was like it was an homage to that. Remember with the spinning? You remember I used to
Oh,
have that thing, the hoverboard,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Then and the guy was on the spinning hoverboard and he did the double dunk thing.
Right,
That was an
right.
homage to another Magic a performance. It was Aaron Gordon because he did the same dunk in Toronto in 2016. Come on, man. No, that's a
No,
bad take. I'm sorry. I'm going to
no.
stand up for it's
I'm
a white guy.
I'm gonna stand up for my boy Steph Castle. Yeah, man.
Oh my God. Dude, the guy got 450s. 450s.
Hey,
Come on.
no, it's all gimmicky, crappy Vegas style crap.
Okay. What about the Dwight Howard one? Remember Superman?
Yeah, I thought that was crap too.
No, you
Like all
didn't.
the cape and all that bullshit. I can't stand that shit. Just give me a
What?
really, really great dunk.
Dad, you can have both. I'm sorry.
Well,
It's the
maybe.
dunk contest.
I don't like.
Come
I don't like the
on.
gimmicks. I don't like it.
I don't like the gimmicks if you can't back it up with a great dunk, but the dunks were spectacular, man. Like
Yeah, listen, there's no denying that dunk that you just described that Matt McClung did was
all
just
of them,
amazing.
all of them were amazing. I
All of them
mean,
were.
he the kid's 6'10" and he did a double dunk. He
Yeah,
grabbed it, did a windmill, and then he brought his other hand up and dunked that and dunked both of them. Like that was an
yeah,
amazing dunk. I'm
yeah. That was
sorry.
an amazing dunk.
Like
Yeah,
for
you're
to
right.
have that kind of hang time, But look, regardless, I thought Mac was fantastic. Shout out to Mac McClung, a
Yep,
white guy winning the dunk contest in
yep.
Black History Month. I mean, Jesus, what a time to be alive. But no, look, he's not an NBA player, and this is the problem.
Exactly.
He's a
The
G League guy.
NBA, the NBA. You were just talking to at the beginning of the show, or at the beginning of this segment. Why? What does the NBA is trying to figure this thing out? And this is one way that they could figure it out is actually have NBA stars like LeBron and Kevin Durant and like Wembanyama and those guys competing in the dunk contest instead of these Mickey Mouse, guys coming off the
Yeah.
bench. You know,
Rookies coming off the bench, like, and G leaguers. I mean, come on, man. Like in the old days, it was like Vince and T Mac and
Dr.
Stevie
J.
Franchise, right? But like or like Kobe and Jason Richardson, and like these guys were known guys, right? Like they
Yeah.
weren't just scrubs. I
No.
mean Dominique,
Dominique.
and
Exactly.
MJ, right? And like
Yeah.
we just said it, Dwight Howard and
Yep.
Blake Griffin. Like these are all stars, man.
Yeah.
And
That's what you need. That's what you need back in the dunk
yes,
contest.
you need to have a mix. You got to have two great players, one crazy athlete, and a wild card. That's like the best mix. But you
Yeah.
got to have those two great players. And like, your thought process is right. You just named the wrong guys because like at this point, LeBron's 40, Durant no, but your train of thought was correct. Like it should be Anthony Edwards, it
Hmm.
should be John Morant,
Oh
it should
yeah.
be Zion Williamson and Mac McClung because give him a chance to defend his title.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It should be those guys. Just have the best and Zach Levine.
Yep.
Just put the best dunkers in the league out there, man. They just lost their way, and then you get to the All Star game, which is on Saturday, and that might have been the stupidest fucking All Star game I've ever seen in my life.
Oh man.
I don't know. I don't understand why we're overthinking this.
Well, here's the one good thing about it is that like that this was sort of a tribute to the TNT crew.
Oh my God, come on! But that went on so fucking long.
No, I know, but I mean they had Chuck's team, Kenny's team, Shaq's team. It was kind of a tribute to that whole crew, right?
It
That
was a
whole bunch.
joke. It was a
It was a
joke.
joke. The whole thing was a joke. The format sucked, but
Yeah.
that was the only good thing that I took out of it was that tribute to recognize those guys, and because they should be recognized. Having said that, my God, it was just horrible. Oh my God, nobody was trying, they all it was. I was watching it. It was like all it was is exactly the problem with the All Star game for the last couple of years. It's just dribble down the court, take 3-point shots from half court, and run back. That's it.
Yeah.
No defense, just 3-point shots that were shitty. I mean,
And to be fair, it was always kind of like that, but for 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, everybody locked in, and it's like, all right, everybody's got a chance to play. Now we're going back to our starters, and they're going to go at it for the fourth quarter. That's how it always was in the old days, right? And
yeah, yeah.
but I mean, I don't know, man. And it's just, yeah, like just the whole vibe too. It feels like back in
Oh.
the day. I remember when I was growing up.
First to 40. What the fuck?
Well, I know, but like I'm just talking more like when I was growing up, the All Star Game was an event. Like it was where people came to party. It was the biggest party of the year for
Yeah.
basketball culture. Now it's
Yeah.
just so corporate and forced and just like
Exactly.
and they're doing these gimmicky things, these stupid concerts, and they're like, it's just like I just want to see the best players in the world play basketball. Can we just
Yeah.
do that? Like,
Yeah.
why have we overthought this whole thing? And then you're right. The format is just ridiculous, man.
Oh,
It's like
man.
4 teams, first to 40, all this stupid shit. Why can't we just? Why have we overthought this? Why can't
Yeah.
we just say here's the East and here's the West?
East versus
And-
West, best players that voted in by the fans, or
Yeah,
sometimes
and the
by
coaches, and just let them
coaches,
play. And if they don't try, they don't
let them
try.
go.
Right,
Let
but
them
at
go
least
at
it's not a butchered basketball game. Like, let them fucking play. And here's the thing.
Hold
You're
on.
not gonna-
Let me just
Yeah,
make
go
quick.
ahead.
The NHL Four Nations Cup, right? That's going on. I think tonight, actually.
No, it's
US
tomorrow.
Oh,
It's
tomorrow?
Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. USA versus Canada, right? So, I watched that game, And man, the way they were in the first period, like they had 3 fights in the first 9 seconds.
Well, I know everybody was talking
That
about this.
that game was so intense, Eddie. Like those guys actually played like their lives were on the line. That's what the NBA needs. The NBA needs to have guys play their asses off.
Well, it's been thrown out there that they should do the same thing with Serbia, France, Canada, the U.S. And you just have those four teams. You do the same kind of thing. Now, that'll never happen. But I have two fixes that'll. You're right. You're right. I would love to see that. But I have two fixes that are going to fix the All-Star game. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Number one, yes, you can incentivize all you want, like whatever, 2 million per team that wins. But let's be real, 50K for James Harden is, like it's a night at a steakhouse in Toronto. What you have to do is, and you're not going to like this take, Dad. Actually, I'll save it. Number one, it should be in Madison Square Garden every year. Just every year. It doesn't matter. I don't care about Indiana or Cleveland or whoever made the bid. Just put it at MSG every year.
Yep.
Boom. Done.
Yep,
First problem solved. Because you have a real crowd and
A-list celebrities.
A-list celebrities, the whole thing. Or if you don't want to do that, then you put it in Vegas, which has become the NBA hub. But you know what? Forget that. Put it in MSG every season.
MSG.
It would have an energy to it, and it would just be great.
Yep.
Number two, you're not going to like this take, but Adam Silver, the enabler, needs to grow some balls and actually hold these fucking guys accountable for once. I'm sorry, but David Stern would not have stood for this bullshit. He would not have stood for it. He would have pulled these guys into his office and said, I will fucking suspend you. I'm sick of this bullshit. And sit there and eat his little cocktail weenies or whatever the hell he did. I mean, honestly, like Adam Silver wants to be everybody's buddy. And I think that Adam Silver has done some good things for the league. I also think he's made some poor decisions for the league. I think some of the issues that the league is facing are kind of his fault. And
he's been trying to address some of them, like a viewership.
Bullshit, man. He's been overthinking this All-Star game thing.
Well, no. In this case, yes, but I'm talking about the in-season tournament, right? That has proven to be a success, and that's all just to get eyeballs, right? But yeah, they're facing a big problem with viewership, and
yeah, totally. And Adam's got to eat some of that because he's the commissioner. And look. I'll be honest. A lot of it comes down to and okay. I'll get back to my rule that's going to fix the All-Star game. I think that the commissioner should have. He should have full authority that if he sees you dogging it in an All-Star game, then you're not allowed back next year. So, for example, LeBron, who realized he was playing the Rising Stars, said, "You know what? I'm going to fake an ankle injury." That was a Bush League move by LeBron. And I love LeBron. And it's rare that he kind of takes a social loss like this, but that was a stupid move on his part. Yep. He's the face of the league. He knows that. He's got to suit up and play on All-Star Weekend. And if he's going to come up and bitch about the NFL taking the NBA spot on Christmas and do all the stupid rhetoric that he likes to throw out there, then he's got to understand the levity and the importance of him showing up on All-Star Weekend. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. If you're going to pull that LeBron, sorry. You're not showing up next year. I don't care if you're the best player in the world. And LeBron, there's nothing LeBron likes more than being famous. So I guarantee if Adam Silver had said that, you know what? If you're not going to play, then you're not coming next year. LeBron would have said, all right, I'll tape it up and I'll play. I guarantee it. Yep. So that's what I think should happen. I think Adam Silver should be able to say, he should be able to make a list on the Monday morning after the All-Star game and say, Trae Young, Kyrie Irving, whoever, like I'm just making up names. I don't, know if they actually tried, but whoever, Nikola Jokic, whoever, all these guys, you're not allowed in the All-Star game next year. You're exempt. You get a 1-year penalty for not trying. What do you think?
I think that's okay. That's a good plan, but ultimately, do you think LeBron gives a shit? I mean,
yes, I do.
If he's not back the next year, big fucking deal. Like,
well, okay. No. But you know what? But no, it's not about if LeBron gives a shit. It's about if he doesn't want to try, then you take him out of the game, and then it's a spot for somebody who might want to try, like a first guy who's never made it.
No, I get that.
That would actually play hard.
But I don't think it's a threat to I don't think it's enough of a penalty for these guys. I don't think it's enough of a deterrent.
Really? Because a lot of these guys, like, they have contract stipulations about making all-star teams. And
True.
they also...
Then it comes down to, okay, so you lose your $250,000 bonus or whatever.
Well, but it's not just that. Like this is legacy shit too, man. Like, all-star games matter. All-star appearances matter. And if
True.
these guys aren't going to take it seriously and understand the privilege of playing in an all-star game and go out there and not try and take stupid shots and be an idiot the whole time, then you don't get to come back next year. Sorry. I don't
Yeah.
care if you're ineligible for the All-Star game next season if you openly come out and don't try. I don't know.
I think the real answer to solving the All-Star game, Eddie, is to have players play their asses off for real and have coaches actually work with them for a week before the game.
Weak. Come
Well,
on. No, but
yeah,
I mean, like, no, look. You
something,
can't.
something.
It's a party, but you just like look. You got to get.
Of course, it's a party, but you got to
here's
get.
the thing.
Maybe play the game on Friday night and then spend the rest of the weekend partying. Because that's the problem
Man.
too. They party their asses off for the first 3 days. And
Yeah,
then
they're hungover, but they do that in the regular
they're
season
hungover.
anyway. No, they do that in the regular season anyway. Give me a fucking break, man. I mean, we've been to some 12 o'clock Raptor games where like the Clippers are in town and like, Baron Davis like can barely see because he was drinking till 4 a.m. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we've seen that. No, I don't know.
I mean, like, look,
you're right. Adam Silver has got to do something. And
the incentive thing, there's no amount of money that can make it work. And I've heard the whole like, oh, well, what if you make it so the winning team gets home court in the finals? So if the East wins, right? But that also doesn't really matter because like half the team is like, under 500. So like, why would Scotty Barnes care about that? He's like, fuck,
Right.
I don't give a shit, right? So I think, like I said, Adam Silver should punish the players that don't play hard. He'd be like, "Fuck you, man! If you're gonna dog it, if you're not gonna try, then next year I'm gonna give that spot to a young, hungry player that's gonna come and play hard."
I think you should suggest it to Mr. Silver.
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
Is he in your Rolodex?
Yeah, come on, Adam, grow some balls, man.
Yeah.
Like these
Yeah.
guys, like, sorry, Stern would have never, or he'd be rolling
right
around
about
his
that.
grave.
You're right about David Stern.
He would have been, and he was not a perfect commissioner, but
But
at least he held these
He
guys
wouldn't put up with
accountable.
that.
No, he wouldn't put up with the dogging at the All-Star game. Sorry.
No.
Anything else you want to hit on before we go?
yeah, it sucked.
What are your thoughts on the Lakers as we move into the home stretch of the
It's going to
season?
be interesting, Eddie. Hey, they're top of the division. They're a legit playoff team. I want to see more of Luka and LeBron together. I want to see how that fits. I want to see them get a center of some kind. So we'll see. It's right now for me. It's up in the air, but they're in a good spot. I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we talked about it. This season doesn't even matter. I don't think they're a title contender this year.
You're absolutely right. This is not about this season. This is about the next 10 years.
Yeah. Man, have you seen some of the stuff that the Dallas fans have been doing? I mean, it's actually kind of crazy. Well, I mean, like, there's just all this shit.
I know
like,
that Davis is hurt and he's out.
he got hurt in the first game.
I know. Oh my God, he might not play this year. What
a disaster. I know. It's just honestly, it's like the worst nightmare. And like, did you see like they're confiscating signs? They're not letting fans bring signs in now. And no, seriously, this has become like a real problem. And like the other night, this is before the All-Star game, one of their last games, they did this karaoke thing, and it was the first time they had fans on the Jumbotron since the trade. They were avoiding putting fans on. And it gets to this one guy, and he pretends like he's going to start singing, and then he just looks at the camera and goes, "Fire Nico!" And then it cuts off him really fast, and they kicked him out.
Oh my God! Wow.
They kicked him out of the game for saying "Fire Nico." I'm sorry, but
that's
like
ridiculous.
If I
like, you can, are you kidding me? All the NBA games that we've been to, I mean, the shit that we've heard from fans in the stands.
No, but it's not even about that, Dad. It's not even about that. If you don't even have a right as a paying fan, as a loyal supporting fan, to say fire your GM because you're pissed off, that I'm sorry. Like you can't that's Bush.
Yeah, that's
you
really
can't do
Bush.
that. You can't kick a guy out for that. It's that like that's like
He's
some
a
fucking
shitty
fast.
GM anyways from making that stupid trade.
He's a moron. And did you see what the owner said? The owner said in this article, and Bill Simmons made this point. I'm going to steal it, but he made this tweet that was like, this owner has clearly not watched basketball since before 2016 because he's like, yeah, I mean, like, look at Michael, look at Shaq, There's a certain discipline to your health or something like that. He referenced Shaq, who's like was one of the all-time never could get in shape players.
Yeah.
as like a winner. And then he brings up Kobe as like in terms of being a good locker room guy. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on. Like
Kobe was the meanest asshole on the planet.
Right. It was just like, oh my God, this guy doesn't watch basketball. I mean,
Kobe ran over his own teammate in the Olympics.
If you
ran over Gasol.
If you want to know what kind of teammate Kobe was, then go and watch some Smush Parker. I challenge you to go watch some Smush Parker videos on YouTube. Just search up Smush Parker.
I've seen him.
Kobe was like literally like bullied that guy into depression.
Oh my God.
I mean, he ruined Smush Parker's life.
Yeah, he did.
He's like a depressed alcoholic now. Oh, he's so
and we're laughing about it.
Wow, I know. I mean, he's a ref. Smush Parker's a ref.
Really?
Did you know that? Yeah.
No, I hope he's a sober
referee. Ref. He's just sober rep. I don't know, man. It's ugly in Dallas, and the fact that they're kicking people out for saying fire Nico, that's just insane. And look, I mean, I don't understand how you can't see that. Like they didn't understand that this was more than just trading a great player. Like this guy was everything to that fan base.
Yes, I know.
It was like it was like. It's very rare that a fan base connects to a player in that way. And it would be like if the Heat traded Dwayne Wade in like 06, or if the Lakers traded Kobe in 2010. Right. Like the city just would have been heartbroken.
Yep.
And they would have been like, what the fuck are you thinking? I mean,
that's exactly it. I mean, their fan base was deeply embedded in Luka, and that hurt. That hurt them. It was like it was a stupid trade. It was just, I mean, it was based on the owners thinking that that Luka was a fat pig, which he was, but they just had it. They just didn't, and they didn't want to extend him because of that. And they thought
it was a panic move.
It was a panic move.
It was a panic move, and they're going to regret it for the next 10 years.
They're going to.
I mean, seriously, like honestly, like I would equate it to like if the Yankees traded Derek Jeter. Like, I mean, honestly, in his prime, like New York would have revolted. They would have been like, "What the fuck? You just traded our hero."
Yep,
I know. It. No, it's insane.
Crazy. It's insane.
All right, we got to go. Who's going to win the title? We got to start. We got to start doing this now every week. Is like now we're in like second half of the year mode.
Yep. Okay. Well, best team in the East, Cleveland. Second best, Boston. Best team in the West. Ooh, OKC for now. Second best, I'm going to say Denver.
I agree.
And Minnesota's kind of sneaking up. So
Minnesota's kind of sneaking up.
The Lakers are a playoff team. I don't think they're a championship team.
No, Houston's in a downward spiral. The Clippers are kind of feisty, but they're not a title contender. Same with the Bucks. The Knicks. You forgot the Knicks.
Oh, yeah, the Knicks. So there's 3 teams in the East. Cavs.
I think there's 3 teams in the East.
Yeah, and in the West, there maybe 4, right? OKC.
Well, I think Memphis is interesting, but like Jaw doesn't play.
Yeah,
so
I forgot about Memphis.
All right, so what's your most recent updated finals pick?
I'm still gonna say it's OKC against the Celtics. I just got a gut, but it could be the Knicks against Denver. Who knows?
I think I'm picking Denver to win it all. I think and we don't have to lock this in until the playoffs. This is a fluid discussion now because we made our preseason picks. We'll before the playoffs we'll make some real predictions.
Yeah.
But we're starting to get into that time now. After the All-Star break, like now it's like, all right, let's see what all these teams got. I also we got to go. But I feel like there's like a 10-game winning streak coming from the Celtics. I feel like again post All-Star break they're gonna go. All right, it's time to they're the champs. Yeah, they're gonna say it's time to crank it up into another gear here, and I wouldn't be shocked if they ripped off like 12 straight wins and took over the 1 seed but right now I don't know, man. There's something about this Denver team. I mean, Jamal looks healthy, and they got the best player in the world, and they've kind of figured out their rotation a little bit here, and
looking good.
Championship pedigree. We'll see. All right, Dad. I'll see you next time.